What is going on? Happy Saturday to you, folks. Is this some new theme music I'm hearing? What do you think? So we tried this theme music the other day for our new podcast with Pierre Lebrun, and I really liked it. So my tech guru, my buddy, my good friend, my producer, Chris Sabunia in Kelowna, who works on the other podcast with me, he was bound and determined to come up with new theme music when we started the LeBrun pod. And this is what he came up with. A little more chill, more classy, hey? A little bit. I like it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my call what we want representing the podcast for theme music. Something about this one just kind of gives it a nice happy-go-lucky feel, right? Just kind of chill. If you don't remember, here's the last one from season 1. Here's what we were using before. So I don't know. DM me. Tell me what you think. Hang on one sec. Here it is. Yeah, a little guitar. I don't love the pacing of the guitar at the beginning. It's a little slow. Gets a little better here. The thing I like about this theme song is more later on in the song when it does like it does that kind of thing. It's a little more active. A little more like, hey, what you just heard was awesome. We'll often use this at the end of the podcast because it's like, it has that like, wasn't that awesome? Hey, you should tell your friends about what you just heard. I don't know. That's what that one said to me. And then there's, yeah, you just heard that. And then that one's even a little more funky. I don't know. Picking theme music for podcasts. Not exactly saving the world here, but it matters, right? It sets the tone for your pod. Anyway, enough babbling. Let me know what you think. Which one do you prefer? I like this one. This one makes me happy, so it's the one I chose for today. For this Got Your Back Short Shift Saturday morning edition. And a reminder, folks, is I do the ad read with the music bed to kind of make it all nice and smooth. Got Your Back Short Shifts brought to you by our good friends at Mid-City Construction Management. Really happy to have them on board as title sponsors here for Short Shifts. They're a locally owned company, and they specialize in civil construction projects for over 40 years. You hear the way the music hit there, just as I did that? Roadways to excavation, underground utilities, paving, and concrete. They have played a huge role in the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding area since 1980. And by the way, they're hiring. They're looking for quality people, all different levels of qualifications. They've got lots available. So for a full list, go to mid-city.ca and you can click apply now. That's mid-city.ca and click apply now. We're also very pleased to bring aboard Weiss Johnson as one of our new sponsors, heating, air conditioning, plumbing services. And you're thinking, Weiss Johnson, why do I know that name? I'm going to remind you why you know that name. How about that iconic jingle? How many years have we been listening to that on local radio here in Edmonton? So really happy to have Weiss Johnson on board. They will be sponsoring our inbox, our sound box. They'll be a big part of both podcasts, Got Your Back and Got Your Back Short Shifts moving forward. We'll get more to more on Weiss Johnson in a couple of minutes. Want to talk about last night's game, right? Battle of Alberta. Before I do, got home last night after the game and had such a good day yesterday. Like, ate pretty good. Even got a little workout in. You know, you have one of those days going where you're like, yeah, I just got up in the morning, had a decent breakfast, went for a walk, was feeling good, got some work done, went to the rink, came back, ate a good lunch, like had like a salad for lunch, like not an ounce of sugar anywhere, just salad for lunch. Probably overate a little bit at the media meal at the Oiler game, but I went home last night feeling like this was a good day. I walked through the door, and my wife Randine had a few friends over, and sitting on the counter, a giant box of like novelty donuts. And there was like 6 or 7 left. And so I tried to be good. I tried to make the right decision. I tried so hard, but I just couldn't do it. Like I went upstairs, was going to have a hot tub, so I changed. was kind of putting it out of my mind that it was there, trying to ignore it. Couldn't do it. Sat in the hot tub. The entire time I was in that flipping hot tub, I was thinking about that box of donuts. So I probably ended up having like maybe a 6-minute hot tub because I realized in there I was hungry and I couldn't stop thinking about the donuts. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, there it is. That's what's left of the donuts after I got finished with them. The check marks are for all the ones that I sampled. So for those of you that are just listening to this, what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of donuts, 6 types of donuts. I sampled 5 of them. Now, in somewhat credit to myself, I didn't eat 5 of them, which once I got going, I considered, don't get me wrong, I strongly considered tearing through that entire box of donuts. So pissed off at myself when I went to bed, but as I wake up this morning, definitely regret. But I'm actually going to take the positive and give myself some credit because I didn't eat them all. So good job, right? Nothing like 1,800 calories right before you go to bed at midnight on a Friday night. Okay, enough nonsense. Let's get to the Battle of Alberta last night. Oilers and the Calgary Flames, 2-1 win. Holy smokes. What a goaltending performance from Vladar. Vladar? Not sure if I'm saying that right or wrong. I apologize. I know he's been around a little bit. Just in this moment, I can't remember which way to say it. Unbelievable performance, though. He was spectacular in there. 38 saves, played the entire game, and all sorts of grade A chances. Like, I bet there were 15 grade A chances, point blank, where he just made spectacular save after spectacular save. So I think that's kind of the only place to start, kind of a tip of the cap to the Flames netminder. He was really good. Next place I want to go with this is to the captain, Connor McDavid. So he did not come out and play exhibition tempo hockey. Like, was it just me or did he come out like a house on fire? Like he came out flying in that game. Right from that first shift. And it kind of seemed to me like he almost set the tempo a little bit for the rest of the group because, listen, it wasn't perfect. It was preseason hockey. I thought the Oilers had a really high level of energy early on in that game and real nice tempo to their game. And I feel like McDavid kind of came out and set that tempo. And when he goes out and does that on his first shift of an exhibition game, you're sitting on the bench. You're like, well, okay, fellas, I guess we're getting after it tonight. And so everybody sort of followed suit. I thought there was a good energy level for an exhibition game. And I think that's notable. A lot of times you come out, kind of go through the motions and la-di-da, skate hard for a few shifts, take a few shifts off. McDavid didn't. He went hard all night. I don't know. Is it an indication of his mindset? Is he ratcheting up the intensity level on everything? And we're seeing this as a result of that? Maybe. That'd be a good thing. But good start for him. Almost a bad start for him. Holy smokes, that Evander Kane hit. That was dangerous. Holy smokes. And I saw it happening. I saw it developing and I went, oh, that's going to be, and then boom, that's Evander Kane. That wasn't Tyler Ennis running in to Connor McDavid. And he went down. You could tell he sort of did a quick assessment, like, all right, is all of my shit still working? Got up, skated to the bench. Kane went and gave him a big hug. Yeah, definitely a hug was needed there. And I had the binoculars in the press box. I was watching McDavid on the bench, and he was okay. They had a laugh after. I think he had a bit of a goose egg on his head. But that was scary, and the air came out of the building for about 15 seconds there, no question about it. I thought the power play looked really sharp last night. Lots of opportunities. I know they didn't bury a bunch, but whatever. They were snapping that thing around in midseason form. Couple of little minor wrinkles I thought I noticed. On the pass back, the slingshot play to McDavid, it seemed a little bit different in that a couple times it wasn't just like this saucer pass through the air that everybody knew was coming from Draisaitl. He almost seemed to turn, see McDavid as an option, but he looked like he was willing to go with it too. And then it was a snap pass, like tape-to-tape snap pass, hitting McDavid at full speed just as he hit center. It wasn't that high saucer pass all the way back, behind the blue line where McDavid then took it and gained speed. He seemed to be hitting him with that pass at full speed. And I just wonder if maybe that's a thought they have about how they can attack A little bit different on the power play this year with McDavid at full speed with a snap pass when he gets that thing. And it worked a few times. They're always great on entries. Okay, next on the list. Darnell Nurse dropping the mitts not once, but twice in this hockey game. So some Oiler fans are going to love this. Some Oiler fans are going to hate this. For me personally, as an analyst, I look into the kind of deeper meaning of why Darnell Nurse would go and do this. First of all, I don't think Darnell Nurse had a great night. I thought he was struggling a little bit, fighting the puck a little bit, a few turnovers. Obviously the one, he puked it up right in front for the goal. That was not ideal. So I thought he was fighting it a little bit. Chances are Darnell Nurse knew he was fighting it too, right? The night wasn't going great for him. It's preseason, certainly nothing to panic about. But when a teammate takes a hit like Evander Kane took, Darnell Nurse steps up and stands in there for his teammate, drops the gloves, and gets into a scrap. Good on him. I mean, that's leadership. That's what happens sometimes. And I know some fans won't want Darnell Nurse fighting. Now, it was a really quick fight. Basically never really even got any punches off. And I think he got the extra 2 for that. So I think those guys were chatting in the box. And I think there was probably that, we'll go again thing happening in the penalty box, right? Well, do you want Darnell Nurse fighting that guy? I mean, he's a depth player, came in, he did his job. He did what he was there to do. And good for him. It's Clark Bishop, played 10 minutes on the night. And Nurse wanted another piece of him. It happened later in the game off a face-off. And Nurse tapped him. And, the funny thing is Evander Kane was right there. I thought Evander Kane was getting ready to fight the guy, and it turns out he was. But Darnell Nurse dropped the gloves and scrapped again. So fans are probably thinking, why is this $9 million defenseman fighting this depth player, risking his knuckles and his wrists and his health and his face? And, you can't do that, right? Darnell Nurse got away from this element of his game last season. I'm not sure he had a fight all year. I thought I heard Stoff on the broadcast saying that he didn't, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but he didn't fight much if he did. I don't think he had any. He got away from that element. And it would seem to me that by coming and doing this, not once, but twice, early in preseason, it's Darnell Nurse choosing to engage, right? There were many situations last year where something happened and Nurse makes a decision about whether or not to engage. A lot of what he did last year, he would always step in for teammates, but it would be more wrapping the guy up and, chirping at him hard and warning him and that sort of thing, right? There wasn't this showing up on the scene, gloves at the ready with the intention to scrap over what just happened. He was a little bit more careful and selective, which is fine. I'm not even criticizing him. But last year, Nurse would show up on the scene with kind of a bear hug, grabbing the guy, being menacing, and getting in his face. It's a different way to do it. Now, I'm not saying Darnell Nurse is going to fight like this every single game or every time a teammate gets hit. I think by doing it this early, it's him establishing to himself that this is something he's going to get back to in his game a little bit. A little more rough and tumble. He's one of the most feared defensemen out there because he's good at it when he does it. And I like the message that it sent, not just to, the opposition and to his teammates. I like what Darnell Nurse did for himself by engaging in this way in this game. Here's Evander Kane.
Think of Darnell kind of stepping in there not once but twice there. I mean, this is preseason.
Yeah, I mean, the first time was awesome. Really appreciate that. The second time I was a little surprised because I was ready to go. So I think we were all looking at each other what was going on there. But he's obviously a leader on this team, and seeing him step up and take care of that physical stuff for me was appreciated, and that's just the type of guy and teammate he is.
That from the Weiss Johnson Sound Box. Of course, our new sponsor. We're happy to have them on board. Weiss Johnson, heating and air conditioning, plumbing services. How about a new high-efficient furnace to replace your really old, inefficient one? Or a garage heater for your garage to make it great for the family to get into a nice, warm vehicle this winter. I think I'm going to do that. So, Weiss Johnson put in my air conditioner last year. It was an awesome, easy experience. Loved having it this year. And I think I'm going to give them the tap this year for a garage heater. We have it. We got to use it if we have the jingle. You can't do a Weiss Johnson read without the jingle as well. Anyways, give them a call, 463-3096, or visit them at 5803 Roper Road. They've got a great showroom. We'll go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here, and we asked Jay Woodcroft, the head coach, how he felt about his number one D-man dropping the gloves not once, but twice in a single game.
I would never want to pull back Darnell in that situation because I thought he tried to do it for the right reasons too, which was he was sticking up for a teammate. And, it happened. It's part of the game. And I know his teammates really appreciate it. It's part of what makes Darnell one of the most feared D-men.
One of the most feared D-men in the league. So, listen, for other fans that are worried, no, he's not going to be fighting twice a game, but is Darnell Nurse maybe trying to grab back onto some of that edge that he had a few years ago? Maybe sending a signal that, hey, he will step in when stepping in is needed? Yeah, and I think that's a positive thing. Other notables. This is supposed to be a short shift. What are we at, 16 minutes? All right. We'll try and keep her to, 21, 22. Other notables for me last night. Warren Foegele played really well, and the pressure was on. He had been, frankly, kind of hot garbage to this point in camp. Hadn't really distinguished himself for a guy that wants more ice time and more opportunity. There just wasn't much there so far. It's preseason, whatever. But the point is, he showed up, and I thought he played great last night. He skated really, really fast, which he often does. But here's the difference for Warren Foegele between a good night and a bad night. He always skates fast. He always arrives on time. The difference for him is his intention when he gets there. So here's a bad night. Warren Foegele blazes in on the forecheck, has a guy lined up, blows snow, stick checks, turns around, blazes his way on the back check, gets back, feet stop moving when he hits the blue line, looking around. Right, that's a bad night of Warren Foegele. It's his intention upon arrival because he's always there on time. On a good night, Warren Foegele blazes his way in on the forecheck, engages physically, throws his shoulder, separates a man from the puck, tenacious, digging at the puck. He shows up with the intention to battle. Warren Fogel's fast enough. He's always going to get there. What does he do when he arrives? And last night, he got a lot done when he arrived. I thought he played really well. He got a look on the penalty kill, which he wanted. And Jay Woodcroft said after the game he thought Warren Foegele was much better. Warren Foegele needs to bring that energy every single night. You remember during the playoffs, there were a few games he was almost unplayable. The confidence was gone. Did you see the play he made to the net last night? Threw a D-man's legs, stepped around him, cut hard. That was a confident play. We didn't see that in the playoffs from Foegele, so he seems to be bringing it early. He answered the bell after a few nights. Was really good last night. Okay, let's get to Jesse Puljujarvi. Okay, there was good, there was bad, and there was ugly from Puljujarvi last night. The most analyzed player in social media history. I'm just going to give you the straight goods on what I thought of his game. The good, and there was good. I thought he had a great back check early in the game. Really hustled his way back. You love that defensive thought process from him. Stripped the puck with that nice reach of his, turned it over. That was excellent. That's some of the best of Jesse Puljujarvi when he's really focused defensively, making those sorts of plays. There were a couple of 2-on-1 opportunities, and one of them wasn't perfect, but he did a good job to create that, and there was a real good opportunity there. He was a big part of that. I think there was another 2-on-1 where he made actually a pretty nice play, and so he turned a couple of nice offensive plays. What were opportunities into scoring chances? And that's confidence. You need to execute those. And then I think he drew a penalty as well in that game. So there were some positives in the box for Jesse Puljujarvi last night. However, don't at me, or you can if you want. There was also some other stuff in his game. He's playing on one of the top two lines, right? When you're playing with Leon Draisaitl, you have to be able to execute more plays than you screw up, quite frankly. Your touches need to be either neutral or positive more often than not. A neutral touch is where you just make a play that's kind of just okay. A positive touch is where you take the momentum that's happening in the moment and you contribute to it. A negative touch is where the play dies on your stick. The kiss of death playing on a line with skilled players is too many negative touches. And Jesse Puljujarvi had too many negative touches last night. Too many times where things were on the move and it got to him and the play died. And, Draisaitl will snap it over to him and keep moving, give and go style, and it just gets dumped into a soft area of the ice where there's nobody there and no chance for his teammate to arrive first. That's the play dying. Turning pucks over, mishandling passes. I think he just tried to fire it back to his blue line at a certain point, or his D-man at a certain point. It was like 2 feet in the air. Just little things where the puck and the play dies on his stick. And if you want to play with good players, you got to up that percentage of neutral or positive plays. There's too many negative plays off of Puljujarvi's stick. And then the ugly. This one wasn't even his fault, but it's like he was standing by his bench. Puck got snapped over to him. He deflects it up into the bench, and it hits Leon Draisaitl in the head. Like, of all the guys to hit in the head, it hits Leon Draisaitl in the head, who kind of shook his head and took his helmet off. And you look out on the ice, and it's Puljujarvi, and you're like, not his fault. A goofy little moment. I'm playfully calling that the ugly. So there was some good, there was some bad, little bit of ugly for Jesse Puljujarvi. 16-28, 1 shot, 4 attempts. But some things to build off of for sure. He needs to play with confidence. Man, the difference in this kid when he's playing and feeling it in his hands, his ability to make plays. There's 2 things you see when he's struggling with his confidence. He can't handle the puck. He doesn't want to carry the puck, and he changes early. He goes off the ice early when he's not feeling confident. And a little bit of that came through last night, but there was still some good, and he made some nice plays, and he drew the penalty, had the great back check. Lots to work with there. I still believe this is a third-line player all day long. They're going to give him opportunity here in the top 6. They're trying to showcase him, hoping he has a good exhibition season. Maybe somebody wants to do a deal. Maybe his confidence catches on, and if they can't do a deal, he starts there. But this is still a third-line player all day long on this team, and to me, I don't really see that it's that debatable. Oiler Twitter will disagree with me, and that's the beauty of doing this stuff. All right. Where are we at here? 22:15. All right. I failed at making this a short shift. I know I did. But whatever, it's Saturday, right? What else do we have to do today? I'm working the Elks game later this afternoon, taking on Montreal. It'll be my first sideline game of the year. I'm really looking forward to it. Like being down there. We'll see how they do. If they can get their first win in, over 1,000 days at home? Holy smokes. Like, how does that happen? Over 1,000 days. Haven't won at home since they fired Dwayne Mandrusiak. Tell you that much. That's a story for another day. But, looking forward to the Elks and the Owls. That'll be on TSN a little bit later on today. We'll bring a full episode of Got Your Back coming up either Monday or Tuesday. I got to check the schedule. I'm not sure which day it'll be, but Struds will rejoin me. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Mid-City Construction Management, and our new sponsor, Weiss Johnson. Oh, that was just messy. I shouldn't have done both of those at the same time. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think of our new theme music. Let me know what you think of these short shifts. Leave a review on Apple or Spotify. Whether you like us or not, it helps us. So leave us a review. Subscribe. Thanks for coming along. Forgot your back. NHL edition, LeBron and Rishaug. YEG edition, Strudwick and myself. And Got Your Back short shifts. Sometimes it's just me, babbling endlessly. Wrapping up a podcast is a skill, folks. You got to have something funny or tricky to say at the end. I kind of don't this week. So instead, I'm just going to fade to the title shots if you're watching on YouTube. And I'm doing all this tech stuff myself. Actually, let's show you the donuts again first. There's the donuts. That was a mistake. There's the title page. And now, a subtle music fade. I'm going to let it hit, though. Here comes. All right, and now a fade. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Steady on the fade. Oh, we're still here. We're still here. right at the end of the song.